Hello, everyone. So I have had a few questions from several different people, and as to Biden, and I thought the best way to answer all of them, rather than doing separate readings, would be to just do a grand tableau. So this is going to be a grand tableau, a Lenormand or Lenormand. I'm using this deck here, the vintage Lenormand by Root Weaver. So this way we'll get to see all the different areas and relationships. But anyway, this is going to be for Biden from now. So September, what is this, the 3rd? Yeah. And through the election. And so instead of the woman card being Jill, which is normally, the way to go, I'm going to assign that card to Kamala. So let's see, Joe Biden's future. Through the election. Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe and Kamala. Right there. Okay. Let me just get them laid out before I start commenting. Otherwise, it takes a lot longer. If anybody has the gumption to throw in the timestamp for when I get the cards all laid out and actually begin the reading, I would be forever grateful. Being that this process takes a little bit of time. Oh, so Joe landed here. Okay, that's interesting there. Kamala landed here in his house. How interesting. And in her house, we have the fish, which has to do with some flow and abundance and a lot. And sometimes like a transactional something. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'm looking up, and it looks like at about 3 minutes and 45 seconds, somewhere in there, I'm starting the reading. Somebody wants to pop that in for me, I'd love it. Just throw it in a comment and I'll pin it up at the top. So, okay, I'm going to start here because I want to start where his card came through. He's in the house of the mountain. Mountain has to do with obstacles and secret enemies. Knighting to him is the heart card, which could be some type of an emotional thing that can be kind of painful. Now, again, this is him. If we just look at it from the perspective of the past, this is him kind of surrendering his heart and cutting himself out. He made the decision to take himself out of the race, and he did that for America. This is the beauty of him letting go, just dropping his ego and moving in the right direction now, but also, well, moving in the right direction for what he thought was best for his, for the country, not necessarily for himself. But then again, who would want to lose and then cause many problems? And I guess, when the numbers started coming in from all the other states is when he got really worried about staying in, because he didn't want to lose, to create loss for Democrats in other districts, other states, you know what I mean, right? So, okay. But it's interesting that he landed in the house of mountain, which is obstacles, but staying put, holding your ground and staying put. But the mountain card is knighting to him and hanging over him. All of these cards are weighing down on him. And the mountain's in the house of fox, where the fox can be sometimes undetected health issues, but I kind of doubt it, just because with him, he is checked out so often. He's really checked out. And when it comes to health, here's the health card, and it's in the house of sun, which would be, bright, a lot of vitality, success. But then the sun card's in the house of mice, so that could be just some things that kind of, nag him all the time. It can also be somebody, we know who was always trying to steal the election, and all of that being revealed. And now he has the strength to help with that revelation process. If he does have a heart issue, it's undetected. Having the fox there. And yeah, that's all I have to say there. Let me look at any other health issues. Yeah, with the fox knighting to the sun. Well, the sun being the vitality, and the fox up here, like I said, if there is a health issue, it's undetected. They haven't seen it yet, or misdiagnosed. The stars knighting to the tree. That could be circulatory issues, immune system issues, definitely rules the skin. Yeah. So as far as health issues there, that's all I'm seeing. Over here in the tree, we have the coffin coming in the house of the tree. I mean, the tree being the house of health. This could be some kind of painful loss for him. It doesn't have to be death. It doesn't have to be, but it could be, I mean, it's an ending, and in the house of health. And it does knight to the heart, the house of heart, and it does knight to the fox. It also knights to the child, which can be something new or something small. And it also knights to the garden, which could be, something that happens being out with people, I mean, when I'm looking for COVID, this is one of the cards I would look for, along with the clouds and the birds, because airborne illnesses, things like that. So that's a little challenging. Now, the bear coming through does show strength, and it's right next to him. Strength in revealing what needs to be revealed. Shoot, with being in the house of paths, it's like paths or crossroads. This is the strength of the choice that he made, the decision, the choice that he made to to step down. But he's still a powerful influence on Kamala. And then we have the card that, this is the path, crossroad path card right here. And it's in the house of Moon, and the Moon is his reputation. So, yeah, and the way the public sees him, same thing, public reputation, I guess is a shorter way to say that. So that brings through, him stepping down, being in control of his public reputation. And that is definitely true. It looks like he's on top of things when it comes to his health. But again, this diagonal here, it might just be like another bout of COVID coming or something. And it's, causes him stress and that inability to speak up very much. And it's in the house, the birds in the house of child. Well, the birds, first of all, can be, it can have to do with trusting your instincts. And, and he did do that, which took him out of the race. He's the one that made that decision, but I need to stick with like the health issue here. It rules the throat, it rules the respiratory system, as well as the stars having to do with the nervous system, but then the way he's also navigating in life. And he does navigate by, he's not a guy that just stays in and kind of rules from the desk. He does tend to be out and about a lot, which is, he has gotten sick quite a bit this last, he's already had COVID once. If he gets it again, and the tree being next to the lilies, the lilies card is our card for being elderly. It's also wisdom and harmony, but it's in the house of clouds. So the clouds to me is like that would be a COVID house, and we are more susceptible when we're over 65. Okay, so anyway, let me focus in on these cards around him and what's weighing down on him. To have the mice so the ship is our house of change, and it's a house of travel. Mice can pick up toxins. The mice card can be about toxins. It can be about things that steal your energy, take your energy away, eat at you. I think right now he's very, very bothered about Netanyahu, and he should have been a long, long time ago. That's probably the only thing I can ever say that I've been disappointed in him with is how he handled that whole relationship. That guy, Netanyahu, is never to be trusted. So, but this is really bugging him, and in a new way. And then here we are with the ship card in, knighting to him. So he wants to make some changes for the security and stability of the United States. This is like a foundational house. But in his future, it's also about change weighing down on him. And the pathway house, again, being about choice, and the bear knighting up here to the stork, and the stork being in the bear house, This is his money, power, and protection that, makes him want to just kind of maybe leave and make a change, because these cards are knighting together. And the house could be, the foundation of his, mind, body, soul. That's usually the way I read that card. Let's see, where is the house? The house is right here underneath him in the house of Lily. Yeah, so maybe he does have this under control, where he does have the wisdom to stay in more. And Kamala comes to him. But they've been out together. They've been out speaking together, is the thing. But in the future, I don't like having the coffin in the house of tree. I mean, that's terrible. I just don't like that, because it's always a painful loss and ending. And yeah, it can be transformation, but not till you go through the loss. It's on the other side of it. And this is with the tree. Well, on one level, it's the branches, part of the branches of our government. But when it comes to health, that's the house. And here's the card in the house of Sun, which would be his success and his vitality. It all depends on his health. And it's blocked up here. There's something undetected. And it could be something small, though, but it also could be something new. And it could be a new case it could very well be a new case of COVID. And then the clover being hanging up above him as well, being in the house of whip, this could be just a repeat, like the second time he gets COVID. But of course, could be recovery. Of course. Yeah. And then again, all this wet around him, and then spreading, and clover, and it's heartbreaking, and he needs a lot of care for recovery. And with the scythe, it's dangerous. COVID can be dangerous to the heart. It really can. Okay, so let me go now with opening up the reading. Rider brings in movement. So the movement of his position, the Tower card is nothing like the Tower in the Tarot. In the Lenormand, it has to do with your position, your status, your authority, your integrity. And this is his highest position as president, right? This is POTUS. With adding all these cards together, it tells me that the movement of his position, well, on one level, it was dependent upon, what he did. He took himself out of running for POTUS again, and now he has a lot of love and approval coming through from the public, but there's still something like toxic kind of around him, and it might have to do with emotionally. Things are just nagging him, and I do feel it does have to do with Netanyahu, because we've got the foreign, issue right here. It's nagging him. So that's a major thing, and it might be kind of distracting him, eating away at his heart and distracting him, eating away, distracting, stealing his, life force, and it's got him down. Going with the coroners, Kamala could take a very high position if something happens to him, of course, and that would be the movement that brings in the recovery, and then to have the snake coming through in the house across, it could be a complicated, but something that we would take great faith in. You know, the cross can bring in where you need to take faith, and it's also the cross. Well, let's see, where is the cross card's up here? Oh my God, the cross card landed in the house of coffin. Okay, and the key is in the house of snake. Whoa. If anyone out there, if you gals have, a lot of you people have taken my lessons in how to do a grand tableau and read all the Lenormand cards, I would love your comments here. What I'm seeing here is with the snake showing up in the house of cross, this is a burden, and it's a complicated burden, and it's you know, there can be betrayal around this, complicated betrayals, something with, well, a couple levels here. This could be secrets, some secret that comes out. It could also be the law, you know, when it comes to the law, the Constitution, you know, she would go, so if something happened to Biden, she would go right in, of course, and she would hold that position, and then she'd be running for POTUS from that position, and that would complicate things, but it's her responsibility. It's her cross to bear. That's every vice president's cross to bear, is to step up and step in for, you know, for if in those cases when those awful things happen. My goodness, there's so much over here with, so the snake is knighting to the stork and the dog. Okay, this is Kamala's commitment to protect him and he has protection as well. He has his allies that dearly love him. We all love him, and well, not what do you call him? Not Trump, but you know, we do, and allies all over the world love him as well. He has a lot. Biden has a Trump, because remember this reading, I wasn't really reading on Kamala, but she has to show up, right? Because they're in this together. This is on Biden. He has a lot. He has an abundance. The fish are bringing in abundance. He has an abundance of allegiances all over the world. Allies, allegiances, you know, commitments. And he has made a lot of commitments. Some of them kind of dangerous, right? The commitment to Netanyahu was dangerous, and that's what's going on here. The letter is usually about the votes. Because he stepped down, or, you know, excuse me, you can see that over here. He stepped down. Well, the votes now have a chance. There's an improvement, a chance. And he solidified that by doing the loyal thing to the country, having the, you know, the anchor in the house of dog we're dealing with. The goal was to protect the country and to protect the vote. So on one level, you know, it's like he kind of, if there was any real betrayal going on, Biden betrayed Trump by getting out of the race altogether. And so now, of course, Trump is running against Kamala, and he doesn't have a chance. So him doing that, and this could also be, the letter card could be the official legal document that, that he wrote saying that he resigned. And then the next thing that came out was that he was, of course, endorsing Kamala. It had to go, in those two steps. That's two-step process. And that, because the bouquet's in the House of Letter, that is what created the recovery for us, to vote. And she's, even though we don't pay much attention to the polls, she's definitely way up. And it will just continue to increase as people get to see more and more of her and what she's all about. So to have the key card come in the House of Snake, there's something really, really important that will be revealed. And it could have to do with some betrayal, just some dangerous thing that you want to stay away from. The snake also rules the digestive tract, part of it, the colon. This could be, him going in for another colonoscopy. Like when he did that last time, every time he goes in, anytime a president anytime a POTUS, President of the United States, has to go under, anesthesia, the Vice President steps in and takes over. So, Kamala was already, and Lori picked that up in one of her readings a long time ago, she was already president for that day. But to have her show up in the House of Man, this just shows how tight they are connected, how tightly they are connected. And to have the clouds coming in the House of Tower, remember the reading's on him, not on Kamala. This is like this, there's something hidden, there's some subterfuge, there's some obfuscation around, now it could be temporary, but it's around his position, his high position. And it could be that some new communications come out about something and reveals something that he doesn't like, based on these cards all knighting together here. Something about, something about his past and maybe family, relating to family. So, goodness, yeah, to have the cross coming through in the House of Coffin, there's a loss of faith in his future. There could be a loss of faith in him. Could also be a loss of faith in an ending that's painful. The cross is our card for guilt. It's our card for, but for him, he's a very, very religious, Catholic religious person. So for him, this could be like his loss of faith in himself, which is so sad if that's the case. And feeling guilty when he shouldn't be, But then again, I don't know what might come out. I mean, if it's something secret, I would say it's something with his family. The book is our card for secrets, and it's in the House of Anchor. So, on one level, this is about him being very anchored in knowing the law, knowing the laws of the land, knowing the Constitution. The book would be our card for the Constitution, as well as the Tower. Now, another funny little piece in all of this is because of Scrotus's decision to give presidents immunity for official acts, he could use that. He could use that, right? Now that he knows he's got that heavy, he and these cards are knighting together. He could be loyal to that letter of the law now, literally the letter of the law. It's dangerous. I mean, in his mind, he would feel like it's dangerous. But also the scythe in the House of Book could be something coming out that was hidden, and it kind of cuts, It cuts. And it's surprising, because the bouquet can bring through surprises. The scythe next to the bouquet, I don't like. I don't like that at all. I don't like the snake being close to the bouquet. These are all surprising attacks. The snake could be an attack. That's a heavy burden. The cross is what we believe in and what we will put our faith in, and also what our burdens are. The cross is a card of suffering through pain. And, him having to end his presidency the way he's done, or, end the campaign, I mean, I'm sure that was painful for him. But I think he did it for reasons, health reasons, where he really doesn't have that stamina anymore. And who would? Who would? I mean, nobody should be working that hard when you're 80. That's ridiculous. But again, we need laws in there. I wouldn't want a really young president either. I mean, Kamala's a perfect age. She's past her second Saturn return. She's very mature and very wise. So, anyway, but maybe there should be a cutoff age of like 70, 75 or something. Then again, who knows? It depends on the person. It's so, just to have these hard and fast rules, no. It's, so, okay. But then again, there is physical stamina. That is an issue. You can have wisdom, but then the physical stamina. But he's always had a very young, staff around him to help him. And they push him. That's the thing, is they've pushed him. Probably to the point that it wasn't so good. I'm drawn to the Stars house with the garden there. That brings in the element of his interactions that go far and wide. His interactions with others are kind of, like they navigate. They help him to navigate. Social media is part and parcel of this card. There could be some painful loss through social media, something that comes out in social media. The card that rules the news, bringing out the news, is the Rider up here, Knights to the social media card. The Sun, revealing something that's not nice, relates to the social media card. And again, something surprising. Maybe something weird will show up about how he voted on something in the past that we won't like, But then again, nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we all learn. The important thing is to remember is that he stepped down. He made that decision to step down. Made the decision to step down because he was worried about losing to the Republicans. So that was the important. He did the right thing. We will always remember him for that. To have the whip coming through in the House of Keys. So the key is important. It unlocks things. The whip is about work and action and repetitive action. And he's committed. He's very committed to all of that. Just keep on working. He's a hard worker. He's a very hard worker. But then again, the dangers here. This repeat the dangers keep coming in. And it might have to do with when he's traveling around, you know. But then again, he does have protection here in traveling. I like seeing that. Oh boy. I just don't like the snake landing down here in the house across. I don't like the coffin in the house of health. I don't like the cross in the house of painful loss and endings. But whatever it is, it's going to be revealed. Whatever's going on, we're going to see it. It'll be revealed. And it could be a very important turning point, although complicated. The snake brings in complications and detours. The scythe can bring in detours. Right now it's kind of hidden. But in the end, it's right out there. Nobody can not see it. And it's a burden, but we have to have faith. Yeah. So I don't really have anything else to add. I mean, maybe I'll see something later after I upload it, and then I can always drop it in the comments. But so far, it looks, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of health issues here, honestly. Health and maybe family, and maybe there's some secret. Yeah. So I'm just going to keep sending him lots of love, and I'm sure you guys are too. And Kamala as well, of course. Okay. Thanks, you guys, for hanging in there with me. Bye.